Hi, this is Jason Everett from Business Refuel, and I'm excited. I'm out here at Tony Robbins' private resort, Namale, and I'm out here with Bill Keefe, who actually runs the resort and takes care of the grounds and everything that you see around that you've probably seen in some of the photos that I have. And I wanted to sit down with him and really ask what are some of the distinctions that he has about this resort that is different than anywhere in the world, because you guys have received some amazing awards, right?
Yes.
So what awards have you received, just to kind of get a framework for it?
Probably the ones that are most known in the public have to do with TripAdvisor.
Okay, on TripAdvisor.
TripAdvisor is just a crazy web source right now, and we've been very fortunate that the people who travel have given us some great reviews, and we've sort of won the top honors in the boutique luxury resort, which we are, small luxury area. Our spa has also gotten quite a few accolades in terms of being best in the South Pacific or best luxury boutique spa in the region. So both aspects of the resort have been recognized in that way.
Excellent. So what would you say, because I mean, as I've been here for 4 days now, and one of the things that stands out to me is just the amazing people that you work with. I mean, like beyond compare. Like people that I've wanted to build a relationship with because they truly believed in me, and I thought it was fluff in the beginning, and then I realized it wasn't the very first day. So tell me, what are some things that you guys do here that make you different than anywhere else on the planet?
Well, it goes back to the way that the resort was first established when Tony first bought the property. We couldn't have Namale without the people that work here, and the resort is supported by the people who live at Vivili Village, which is right across the road, and the people who live in Nandi Village, which is right across the bay. More than 65% of our 130 employees come from those two villages, and they have a real ownership mentality, a real they feel a part of Namale, and Namale feels very much a part of the two villages. So without that relationship, we simply couldn't run Namale the way that we do.
So ownership is extremely important with the team. How do you get your team to take ownership over the resort? What creates that?
They just feel a kinship to Namale, because Namale provides employment to a large number from each village. So if the resort does well, the villages do well. When the village is doing well, we have happy employees, and we at times have 3 generations of the same family working here.
Outstanding.
And it's a really, really special relationship that I've really never encountered anywhere else in the hospitality business.
Well, one of the things that stood out for me that totally sunk in why it works the way it does, that I at least heard, and hopefully I'm not giving away anything here, but one of the things they said is there's no tipping allowed on the resort, right? And that at the end of the year, you guys take all of the donations that are to the fund and you split it up equally amongst every person, from a groundskeeper to the food staff, to not only the people that you can see, but the people you can't see.
Yes, that's key, because as I said, Namale maxes out with 40 guests on the Namale Resort itself.
Yeah.
And we have 130 people that support those 130 guests.
Wow.
So usually when people are used to giving a gratuity, it's people that you see, people that you interact with one-on-one, but there are so many people behind the scenes that support what happens here at Namale, in the maintenance department, in the grounds department, in the housekeeping department, in the food and beverage department, that it wouldn't be fair if only the 15 or 20 people that interact with the guests on a regular basis every day were able to receive those gratuities. So the gratuities go into a fund, and this is throughout Fiji also. Tipping, Tipping is really not a common thing throughout Fiji. Many properties have this idea of a staff fund. But what we've also done is expanded that. Our guests have been very, very generous over the years. We manage an education fund, we manage a medical fund, a health benefits fund. And for example, right now, any employee of Namale who has children in school, that fund is paying for the school fees for those kids. That fund also funds transportation of the young children who can't get to school on their own, and sort of a guided chaperone bus into school, and they get picked up each day.
So it's really about giving the people something to not only want but add value to their lives, which is part of what we were talking about at the conference the last couple of days, is find ways to add value for people so tremendously that the rest of it happens naturally.
Yes, and they all have such a pride in working here. we get a lot of accolades on our training.
Yeah.
And we do train our employees on how to do the different skill sets that they need to do their job. However, the friendliness, the warmth, we're not training that. That's in their nature.
Yeah, that's just part of them, right?
When you meet these folks
in their nature,
in town,
it's a great way to say that.
When you meet these folks in town, they're acting the exact same way as when they're working here at the resort. It's not something they turn on and off.
It's not an act or a switch. That's just how they are.
Not at all. And so I feel bad. We can't take credit for that.
That's good. So part of it's here. But part of it is how you treat them and how that works and what the energy that's here. So if you were to say one thing to somebody who runs a resort somewhere else or has a hotel or even that just has a small hotel somewhere, what's one thing that they could do that if they did it well, it would drastically change how they operate their business?
You've got to have the right people in the right position. And this is a concept that Tony uses across all of his businesses, into the idea of gold, silver, and bronze players.
Okay.
But you've got to have the best people in the best position, and create a situation where they feel that they have a vested interest in how the resort does.
So they're invested,
exactly.
But they're in the right position also.
Exactly.
Excellent.
These funds we were talking about, the better the resort does, the larger those funds become.
So they have owner. Yeah. So going back to the ownership.
It's not a carrot and stick thing.
Yeah.
But they feel the rewards. They feel as if they're contributing, and there's something they get back from that.
Got it. Excellent. So put the right people in the right position.
Yeah.
Give them a sense of ownership that they can operate, and don't change their nature. Bring their nature and use it in a way that it's intended.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to having the right people, because this isn't a utopia. You're not going to get 100% of people who behave like this.
All friendly, sure.
What's unique about Fiji is that just an abnormally large percentage of the population here is like that.
That's good.
But still, you've got to be able to select the people that are there for the right reasons, that are there to work hard, contribute, and they're a member of a team, and they've got a sense of responsibility, and not just grab whoever happens to be convenient at the time to fill a slot, to get a warm body in a place.
Got it.
And finally, it's a fourth thing of the
That's okay. Four is good.
You've got to give them the resources to succeed, and that's another thing that Tony and his group are committed to. Meaning, they're not going to expect them to pull off Herculean feats without the right tools, without the right resources. Tony has a very personal attachment to this property. When he first bought it, he didn't have any intention of turning it into a Namale.
Yeah.
It was a personal retreat for himself, and one thing led to another. It got larger and larger, and at some point it became logical to run it as a resort. And if we were going to run it as a resort, we were going to run it as a top shelf resort.
Got it.
And then figure out how to make that resort make money. But if it's going to be associated with Tony and his group, it's going to be at an extremely high level. And to do that, you have to be willing to invest in the property.
So right resources for the team so they can deliver the result at the level that it should be delivered.
Exactly.
I love it. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to sit with me.
My pleasure.
Thank you so very much. You have a beautiful resort. And again, it's Jason Everett, and I just want to say thank you for taking a second to watch this video, because as we can bring you other tools and tips that will help you understand how to grow your business, we're doing our job, and our job is to add extreme value to your life. So I hope this has been valuable. I know it was for me, so thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot.